What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So it looks like Canelo is training hard for his bout with Austin Trout, much anticipated. I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. This picture is Canelo weighing in 4 weeks out. He weighed 166.5. Austin Trout also submitted a picture of his progress, and he weighs the exact same amount. So it looks like both guys are going to transition to 154 rather nicely. They still got 4 weeks. Um, from what I've seen, it looks like training's going good for both of them. Really looking forward to that fight. In other Canelo news, it looks like Canelo has made a statement saying he would never fight on the undercard of a Mayweather fight again. I guess he has a bad taste in his mouth because Mayweather refused to sign a contract stipulating that they would fight. Um, Mayweather instead opted to focus on his current challenge, which is his mandatory Robert Guerrero, and Canelo has a fight with Austin Trout. So basically, he was like, "We'll talk business after, if anything." Um, that leads some fans to speculate that Mayweather is afraid. Again, I don't think that's good business. I don't blame Mayweather personally. Um, Instead of having contracts contingent on winning, why don't you guys just see if you win your next fights and then talk business instead of signing under the pretense that this fight will take place if this happens? I'd rather wait to see if it does happen and then talk business. I think that's a smarter business move. But Canelo said he's not going to fight on any other Mayweather undercards. He refuses to do so. That's his option. So props to Canelo. He's making his own path. He's trying to make his own path. But he does sure mention Mayweather a lot. Um, that's just my opinion of the situation. He said he wants to fight in September. He's looking to fight on Mexican Independence Day weekend. He said he would love to face Miguel Cotto. As you guys know, Puerto Rico versus Mexico always has some exciting matches, and he looks to land this particular fight. He said, I would love to fight against him because he is a big opponent and because it would be a fight that everyone would remember. There is a big boxing rivalry between Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. I would love to have a fight of this magnitude, and that's why I would wish for this match to be carried out, said Canelo. So that's his thoughts. Um, Me personally, aside from monetary gain and a business move, this fight, I don't understand the point of it for a variety of reasons. One, Cotto, in my opinion, he's on a 2 loss streak, and he hasn't really earned it. Like, he hasn't looked spectacular in his last 2 fights. I mean, he definitely gave a spirited effort, but I mean, he didn't win him, so that's why I said he didn't look spectacular, because he didn't win him and he didn't win him convincingly. So it wasn't like a Ruslan Provatnikov, Timothy Bradley, like, oh, who will win? It wasn't, to me, the Mayweather fight with Cotto, nor the fight with Trout was that close to the point where I didn't know who would win when the scorecards were read. So to me, Cotto hasn't earned it. Two, Cotto is, I mean, I don't think 154 is his ideal weight. I'll just put it out there. I'm a longtime Cotto fan. I love what he's done for the sport. He's definitely a legend, future Hall of Famer, no question. But for money, yeah, it'll be a good job. And I'm not saying he doesn't have a chance to beat Canelo, but career wise, if he goes into this fight and if he loses, and if he loses convincingly, I think his career is definitely in peril because that'll be his third consecutive loss. So I don't know if he would want to have such a big fight um, like this on a 2 loss streak. Do the Amir Khan way. Um, take your loss against Danny Garcia. Have some tune-up fights or some softer fights like Amir Khan did with Carlos Molina, and he has a fight with Diaz. So that's what I would do if I was Cotto, and that's just out of respect. Nobody wants to see a fighter go out like Roy Jones Jr. or Arturo Gatti, both excellent fighters in their own right. However, it's just when I seen Arturo Gatti's last fight, I think it might have been against Gomez, Alfonso Gomez. It just was kind of sad. I was just like, this is not the Arturo Gatti that I remember. And I'm not saying Arturo Gatti. I mean, he did get beat by Baldomir, got beat by Mayweather, um, but he was a trooper. He was a soldier, and I remember, I don't know, I just didn't like seeing him at the end of his rope like that. Rest in peace, Arturo Gatti. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? And the last thing about the Canelo and Cotto clash, if they were to fight in September, aside from it being a big fight, because as you know, Cotto has a huge following, and like he said, Mexican versus Puerto Rico bouts usually have good ratings. So I agree with that 100%. I don't think the fight really makes sense for the fact that aside from Cotto hasn't looked splendid in his last couple of fights, if Canelo gets past Trout, like say he convincingly beats Trout or knocks Trout out, then why would he fight Cotto? I know they're not the same fighter, but Cotto just lost to Trout, and he was the person with the belt. So if you beat him, to me, that's isn't that kind of going a step down? Fighting Cotto, who has no belt to offer, hasn't looked excellent at 154 by any means. So to me, I think the only benefit would be the amount of ratings and the money that would support this fight. Just because I think it would draw a fan base based on the fighters' fan bases themselves. But legacy wise, which is something a lot of people bring up when for the sake of Mayweather. Mayweather supposedly, I guess he said a comment like, "I don't fight for legacy, I fight for a paycheck," and Mayweather haters are disapproving of that statement. But again, this doesn't seem like something that will secure his legacy. I know Cotto's a name, but you got to look at anybody can fight a name. It just depends on where that name is at that point of their career. Um, Amir Khan beat Barrera with ease, but in the prime of Barrera's career, I'm sure it would have been a more competitive match. Canelo beat Kermit Cintron with ease, but in the prime of Cintron's career, I'm sure it would have been a more competitive match. So there's a lot of matches like that where the person did beat a named opponent, but he didn't beat them in their prime. So I mean, it's cool for your resume, but it doesn't really do justice to me. So that's my thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you want to see a Canelo versus Miguel Cotto in September? Leave a comment. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Until next videos, Ego signing off.